this meeting so that anybody that can't make it can check it out. So thanks so much for being here. I would love to I would love to take your questions anytime. If you have a question, just go ahead and unmute and say, hey, and ask any questions that you might have. I'd like to do just a quick overview. I'm terrible at sharing my screen. I have to like talk to you about how I'm sharing my screen every time I do it. So I made my lesson plans for the week. I'm so old that I'm still a paper planning book planner. I know that like other people don't do that. But I still do paper plans. So I'm all set to go on Monday, and it looks like the winter storms have gone through for now. So hopefully I won't have any interruptions for next week anyway. We have my little book here too. We actually start, if you've looked through the materials at all, we start with kind of a prep before we read the book. There are some things students may not know about the Aztecs and about Tenochtitlan and some of the places that they're going to visit in the book. And when I read a reader with students, I like to sometimes front load some of that culture. And so that's what I have in the plans for the first couple days is to get to know what axolotls are, what Tenochtitlan and that ancient Aztec culture are. Then we have some pre-reading time. And in the pre-reading, we are going to dive into getting to know the characters. And I think that's something it's when you're getting ready to do any kind of a unit or resource, I love the idea of unit hooks. That's something that I learned from Understanding by Design from Wiggins and McTighe. They said that if you can get students excited about some aspect of the unit, then it's a lot easier for them to be excited about the whole unit of study. So one way to do that for me is to introduce them to characters and let them make some predictions about those characters. And then they have a little bit invested. Then they're wanting to see, did the character do what I thought they were going to do? So if you wondered why it takes until day 4 in the plans to get to actually reading the book, it's just to build that structure before they start reading the book. I like to think of their brains as being kind of smooth about every topic that we first introduce to them. And then as we introduce different parts, they get some little like coat hangers growing out there, and we can hang all of our important information onto those once we've built them in there. So I shared with everybody that signed up for the mailing list. If you did not get onto the mailing list, you can still do that. Um, on the mailing list, I shared this folder, and the folder has our book club calendar, and each of the days on the book club calendar is a clickable little video link. So they're pretty short. There are a couple of videos that are more in the 15-minute range, but the majority of them are between about 4 minutes and 7 minutes. And it just runs down how I'm going to handle instruction on that day of the plans. I have day 1 over on the 4th. I'm actually doing my day 1 on February 2nd because we have on the 13th and the 16th, we're off for a Teachers Institute and we're off for President's Day. So I know I will have those 2 days knocked out of my calendar. So I'm actually going to bump back and go on the 1st for my day 1. I did give you some ideas. It's not a perfect world. If we do have a snow day, e-learning type of snow day. I don't know if your school does that. Our school has 5 e-learning days we can use. We used to Monday and Tuesday, we used e-learning days. So I did give you some ideas of what you might do if you have those. I also gave you some ideas for sub plans if you are sick because it's that time of the year. I gave you some of my thoughts about assessment just in general. So if you're interested in hearing what I think about assessment, it's in there. But also we have an assessment included with the book, and then I have a little next steps, and then a reminder that you can join us again. We will do this again next year. We'll do in Spanish 2. We're going to do this book, and I will have a reader for Spanish 3 or 4 called Lali y los Chaneques for the upper level kids next February. So we'll have double book clubs. We can do a little both. The audiobook is here. Our artist was so, so good. His name was Jonathan Salazar, and I gave you the MP3 files there. In the videos, there I give you some ideas of when would be great days to use the audiobook. I tend to read with my students as we go. I kind of read the chapter out loud with them, but there are a couple of chapters that have some really, really great audio. So for example, when Shirley goes to through the land of the dangerous frogs in chapter 5, the voices of the dangerous frogs are really, really great. I love the way that he did those. Um, Whenever Shirley is talking to his friends, they all have little different friend voices, and so those are really cute. So definitely think about using the audiobook for some of the chapters. The teacher's guide is here. All of your slideshows are here and they're linked in the plans. So if you've not been in the teacher's guide folder yet, this first document is the PDF of the teacher's guide. So you can click on this. Google can be really finicky. So if you click on this and you start to scroll down and you find that the links are not clicking for you, that probably means that your Google Preview is thinking that this file is too big. And so the Google Preview is not going to let you click on the links. And in that case, you would just need to download this file. So go to the little dots and click download and just put it onto your computer. And once it's on your computer, the links should all work just fine. I think the page to page links should work fine either way. It tends to be that Google gives me trouble when I'm trying to click on a link that actually takes me out of the slideshow. So like this one going to the Tenochtitlan slideshow, sometimes on preview mode, Google will act like there's no link there when I know that there is. So the teacher's guide is broken down. This is all clickable navigation. So if you've already looked over, you know you've done day one and you just want to hurry up and get to day two and you don't want to have to scroll through the overview. As soon as you get to the overview slide or any of these slides, you can just click on the two and it will take you to day two. And the same thing if you want to then go look at day 14 and see what the assessment is, you can click down there. So it makes it really easy. The little magnifying glass is the overview. And then this little sheath of papers right there is the printables. And these are the things that you might print for your students. I actually put my students to work right before Christmas break, making all these little cards like the cards for the Over My Head game and the Go Fish game. I have a homeroom. And so we made it into just like a work shed, and they were all cutting and laminating all of the different cards so that we would have them for when we came back and did book club. You don't have to laminate them. You can totally skip the lamination. And a lot of times we gave you an option of a follow-up worksheet. If you don't normally try games in your classroom because you're a little nervous about trying out games, I would really encourage you while we're in book club and while we have a big group of people that are doing it together, this would be a really great time to try out a game that you might have been uncomfortable trying in class before. You needed to see it done because we'll be sharing little videos and clips from our experience, both on Instagram on somewhere.to.share, but also, I don't know if you've been into Facebook, but oh, dang it, I'm not logged in, of course. In Facebook, we'll see if it lets me. Sometimes it has all that two-factor authentication and it won't let me go in. Yeah, no. All right. We have an El Espíritu de Xólotl collab group on Facebook. And in there, I'm going to encourage you to share what's happening. You can share pictures from your classroom. You don't have to. I know that not everybody is allowed to, but I have little stuff like I have, these are stickers made out of some of the illustrations from the book. And I have these little Shirley somewhere to share stickers. And I have somewhere to share pens. I'm going to send little thank you packs to everybody that joins us and chats it up in the Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook and want to come in there, or if you prefer Instagram and want to come in there, we'd love to have you, and I will reward you with cute Shirley gifts. I also, if you're just here lurking, and you haven't decided about whether to try book club or not, there's a sample folder that I can give you access to. You can send me an email, carrie@somewheretoshare.com. It has a sample of the book. It's got the first chapter of the book. It has a first chapter of the teacher's guide, and then it has a sample of what the audiobook sounds like. So you're welcome to check that out before you make any decisions. In the book club resources folder, if you're on block schedule, I know that not everybody's on. I'm on a 48-minute period, except Thursday's 42. Some of you have 80 and 90-minute blocks. I just went through, I was on block my first 7 years in the classroom, so I remember what it was like to be on the block. So taking what I knew from then, I tried to make a block schedule idea for what you might do to use the lesson plan still. I made you a little bookmark that you can hand out to kids. If you print it on cardstock, you can make a few little bookmarks for them to use in their books. There's a little doodle retell. That's one of the things that I like to do if I have a little extra time. I might have them retell the story in little doodles. So if you run into a day where you have a little extra time, that's there. I gave you some feedback rubrics, a free write grading sheet. I love this thing. If you're ever for any kind of a free write, but if you're going to have them write during the reader, you can have them give you what kind of feedback they want. You can have your rubric right here so you can tell them how they did. I even gave them a little spot to, kind of SEL check in. How are you doing? Check in with me. I made some positive posters so that I can hang them up in my room. Just kind of some of Sholey's little phrases from the book. You have a valiant spirit. Being small doesn't mean you're insignificant. So I'm going to hang those up in my room this week to get ready for next week. So hopefully there's a lot. And then after book club, we're going to encourage you to take this survey and give us feedback about what you liked and didn't like. I would encourage you to be honest. Not cruel. We all do have hearts over here at Somewhere to Share, but also honest. You don't have to say everything was peachy if it wasn't peachy. We understand that, and we really do want to improve the resources. So we would love to have your feedback on that. I think that's all the different parts. And so I would really like, oh, we have student sheets. If you do have the ability to deliver sheets through Google Classroom, we have editable student sheets. So your students would just open up. We have Schoology. So when I deliver this to them in Schoology, then it copies automatically to their Schoology and it gives them a text box where they can type. Or if you have Google Classroom, that would be useful to you as well. But I know not everything plays nice with Google. With the vocabulary that you're learning specifically for the book, I gave you some gesture videos and they're all marked here. I tried to write out a description of how to do the gesture in the vocabulary slides, but I feel like me telling you in words and you actually getting to see what the gesture looks like uh, are two different things. So I wanted to make the videos. You don't have to use those gesture videos to show your students. Those gesture videos are there so that you can see how to gesture it to your students. And then I went ahead and put all the illustrations into the folder for you. That way, if you want to use them to talk about, do any kind of an image chat about them, I put all the coloring pages in separately so that you could pull those up and print them. These are all the matamoscas images if you'd like to use them for something else as you're doing the unit. So I did try to make all of our illustrations. Oh, goodness, I went too far back. Now you're seeing my embarrassing large amount of Google folders. If Dylan were here right now, he would tell you that he's tried to shame me about that, but it doesn't work. That's how I live my Google life. So now let's see what questions you guys have. You can either put them in the chat or you can just unmute and talk to me.
Regarding how to get the interest into the future reading,
Yes.
the part of the Tenochtitlan and all those things, Where was that? In the actual the one you shared or the actual from the TPT teacher guide?
It is in the teacher guide. So
Okay.
if you bought a class set of readers. There's a lot of different ways to do book club. Like you can use the book and a document camera and
Hmm.
project it and read that way. If you bought a class set that was 25 readers or more, the teacher's guide and the audiobook would be free to you. You would just need to send me like some kind of screenshot of your purchase and I will share them with you. Otherwise, they're available on somewhere2share.com and also on Teachers Pay Teachers. And then in this lesson plan, when we go down to day one, then it tells you this is the slideshow.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I see it now. Yeah, I couldn't locate it. Okay, yes, I have that one because
Perfect.
I bought the book at Agful, and
Oh,
then I
perfect.
and then I bought the audio book and the teacher guide to see because this is gonna be like my first time doing in a on big
Yay.
scale. So I'm so glad that you're hosting this.
I'm so glad to be able to do it as a group because it's
Yes.
so much more fun to do something in groups. What we also included was what do you say? When you get to a slide, it does have, I mean, it says Tenochtitlan was the capital of the Mexica Empire, but then this is how you would chat about them. Like, how do you turn those slides into a conversation?
Yes.
Because that's really our goal in the language classroom. Get them
Yeah.
reading some things, but also get them talking about some things. And so, what does fue mean? Yeah, it means was. Tenochtitlan was the capital of the Mexica Empire. It was the empire of the Aztecs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of walking through with the kids. Little by little, slide by slide, and having a conversation so that they can learn. And then at the end of that day, we have them playing a card game called Engaño. Great question. Thank you.
I think you too.
Any other questions? Or you guys are just all pros and you're ready to go?
No, Carrie, this is Carmen talking. Oh,
Hi, Carmen.
so I was just going to ask because a lot of these topics or themes, like with that region of Mexico, like I'm familiar with the Lago Xochimilco because we read about La Isla de las Muñecas. Is
Oh, cool.
that the same lake?
It is, yes.
Okay, because like the name, I'm on YouTube, like how do you pronounce this name? And you keep saying it, but could you just like in Spanish, how do you pronounce the Tecnotitlan or Tecnochitlan? Like how do you pronounce that? That's kind of what's
I
interesting is the
it,
names and then also the characters. Like you keep saying Sholi.
the so Xolotl is the way that you would pronounce the god's name in Nawa, Xolotl. The TL is like a T sound, Xolotl. So we've been calling him Xoli. And in the audiobook, the turtle is Don Gil, Gil Gil. Um, I think that's everybody
Yeah.
that has a tough name. And then Tenochtitlan is the capital, and Xochimilco for the lake.
Okay. So the name of the book is El Espíritu de,
Xolotl.
wait, say it one more time.
Xolotl.
Xolotl. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But if you look online, both pronunciations are acceptable because the TL, like, that's the Nawa, but you can also say Xolotl. 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 And I do
Would it
like that one.
be, oh,
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go
This
ahead,
is
Kathy.
this is Kathy. My video's not working. I'm sorry.
That's
Not trying to
okay.
be weird. Would it be possible, back to that last question, could you make a little video and post it with the pronunciations so we can practice them before we try to do this with the kids?
Yes, the audiobook has all of the correct pronunciations. So
Okay.
listening to those. And also, I can just, in the gestures video, I'll just add another one. But if you come to one as you're, looking ahead from where the students are and it was like I missed it and didn't have it in my video, I will actually make that as soon as we're done here and drop it in that gestures videos folder. Um, if you come to one that I didn't say and that you need to know, it'll be in the audiobook. You'd be able to hear how they're going to pronounce it.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Sylvie, did you have a question a minute ago?
Okay, it was not quite a question, but just so I can make sure that I heard you're correct. I haven't got the book, but I'm here because I'm trying to, ease my way into it.
Yeah.
So, if we want to take a look at, what the whole thing is about, you said that you can send us like a free copy of the first chapter.
Yes, I can
Okay.
put you into this folder and it has the first chapter of the book. It has the first chapter of the teacher's guide. It has a sample of what the audiobook sounds like. And then also, oh, there I did it again. I went right back to my
Yeah, you're not gonna
horrible
send me
Google
all of
Drive.
that.
Then also in here during like in each of these days of video, there it kind of goes through what the activities are for the day. So
Okay.
that might help you make your decision as you see what the different things are we're doing every day. And then if you need links, you can find the book, the audio, and the teacher's guide at these links on the graphic.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And the nice thing about book club is while we may start at similar times, we probably are going to be very staggered in where we are day by day. There's not a set, you have to be on this page or this chapter every day because your classes are going to have things that come up and my classes will have things that come up. So we'll be working through February sharing, and that's great. Don't hesitate to post if you do something ahead of when other people are doing it. People like that. People really like to see what other people have done. It gives them good ideas. And you guys have really good ideas. I came up with ideas to put into the teacher's guide, but then when people put their own twist on it, sometimes it becomes an even better idea. So I really love that about my WayUs curriculum. Teachers will share what they've done with different units all the time. And we've made a lot of improvements to the curriculum as we've gone along, just from awesome ideas from other educators. So I really want you to be sharing, like, what are the things you're doing to make this better for your students? And even if you wait and do it in March or April, you don't have to be doing it alongside of us. That's why I'd really like to have the Facebook group and the Instagram posts so that people who do it later can go back and see how it went for us. And then we'll have them for next year. We'll be all set to go. We'll be pros by then. You guys are so prepared. Zero
I was
questions.
going to ask you too that you also, I think you mentioned in one of the videos of your day 1, 2 video that you do the SSR FVR. Do you also continue doing that with students while you're actively reading a whole class novel? And how do
I
you?
do.
Okay.
I still do. We do SSR FVR every Tuesday and Thursday for 7 minutes. So we still go back and do our SSR time, and then we come up and do. So in a day where we have a game, instead of having 20 minutes to play, I might have 13 minutes to play. So I won't get through as many questions on the game. But that's just a part of their routine that they're really used to. So I just keep taking them back for SSR. Plus, this year we've been doing this little stamp system where if they finish a book, if they finish 5 books, they get a Hershey Kiss, and if they finish 10 books, they get a little like mini candy bar, and they're super excited about ending finishing books right now, so they would be mad. SSR, Audrey, is sustained silent reading or free voluntary reading. I have a library in my classroom and students, we go back into the library area, they pick up the book that they're reading, and they have about 5 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes at the beginning and 7 minutes after they get good at it. And we just read silently. I read books and they read books. Right now, I'm rereading Isabel Allende's Ciudad de las Bestias trilogy. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, FVR. I think that the difference is FVR, it says free voluntary reading, and really it's not voluntary. I'm making them read, so I call it sustained silent reading because I'm forcing them, not letting them volunteer. So I feel like it's more honest with them to say SSR. That was a great question, too. This book is 7 chapters. And the French version, which is about to come out, is 8 chapters. It took a little longer to wrap up. The French is an adaptation, so it took a little longer to wrap up. So if you have French colleagues, they can join us next year, but they're going to have one more chapter than we do. So they may need like a day in March to get through their last, unless, no, next year's not a leap year. So yeah, they'll need an extra day.
Is
Maya,
there a,
Oh,
oh, sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was
Okay,
gonna ask,
so my question is this. I'm the one who I saw this book. I was like, oh, it's so cute. I'll do it with my Spanish one kids. I don't think they're ready for it. So I remember I had emailed you and I was going to maybe do it like later in the year. But
Yeah.
now I hear you're doing it with Spanish too. Do you think I'd be better off to, like, do you think it will be too overwhelming for the Spanish ones? And I should just wait and do it with my, like, I don't teach Spanish 2, but I do teach Spanish 3 also. Like, what do you think is most appropriate level for
I
this?
I don't teach any ones. And so this book is not any harder to me than Esperanza, Carol Gobb's Esperanza.
Okay.
And I taught that in level 1 when I did teach level 1, but I taught it in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
This one has chapter 2 has a lot of past tense as Don Gil is telling the story. Like he's recounting to Sholi the story of Xolotl and how he turned into an ajolote. So during that chapter, there is a lot of past tense. Spanish 1 can totally read that. We do Brandon Brown Houdini. This also doesn't have any more unique words than Brandon Brown Houdini. And Houdini is all past tense when we read it in the past tense version. So I think that late level ones could do it. I think
Okay.
in chapter 2, they might need a little extra hand holding. And I think I put in this little verb list at the beginning. So if you look at this list of core verbs, if they're already familiar with these, like obviously they're going to be familiar with, sleep and listen and explore, but help, if they know help and if they can read, reflect, and reveal, they would be fine. And then the new verbs are down here, and those are part of the vocab that we teach with the actions and with the cards and stuff. So they would be getting a majority of the new vocab in the book front loaded to them through the pre-reading activities. So I think they would be fine. But like
Okay.
I said, they might need a little extra hand holding.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just stalk all the pages and see what you all are doing with it, and then
Yeah.
I'll then I'll do it with them later in the year, I guess. So,
And I'm doing it with 2 because I really feel like I like being able to have deeper discussions. And level ones, bless them, they're so cute. But their ability to have it, they can understand you really well, but their ability to come back and have a discussion with you is very, very limited. And so I do like with 2, by the second semester of level 2, they can, come up with some good things to say on their own. So I feel like it is a good fit there too. Carmen, did you have one?
I did. I think I was going to ask because I'm a very visual person. So when you shared that slideshow with the old capital city of
Yeah.
Mexico, I was like, what does it even look like? Because I've been to Venice, so I was trying to like mental map that in my head, like how did that even look like? So I was looking for videos on YouTube, but couldn't really find a lot. Some of it was like more AI generated, but I did find a teacher, a social studies teacher who traveled there to the
Oh, cool.
museum, Imperio, is it Mexica?
Yeah.
Major. And so it's 23 minutes. And I thought maybe I'll just, even though it's in English, like I'll show my students that so they can like
Yes, because
virtually dive
there
into
were
that.
like waterways around the city. These were the pictures that we were able to find online that were like free use. There's not a ton of stuff online that you can use without paying to use the images, but these were Creative Commons images that showed the city. So with the pyramids and stuff, but there's not very many. And this is the one that we found of the of Huitzilopochtli. Any others?
Oh, but the main thing is now all this is Mexico City. So
Yes.
this is the fascinating part that you can like, I'm Mexican and I live in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, to for them to like, you know, see that nowadays this is just this city and used to be all this,
There were so
territory
many
where you
lakes,
have.
and now it's just Xochimilco, and that's all that's left of the.
Exactly, and it's beautiful in Xochimilco, and the fact that I live there and I never see an axolotl, and now they're everywhere. All like sixth graders, which I'm gonna dive in with sixth grade because, like you
Oh,
say,
cool.
I mean, it's ambitious what I'm doing. So, but exposing to past tense, I think it could be a good thing. I mean, like it's just
It
say
is.
we're
We
going
always.
to the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I use that gesture too. I think it's funny, like ACTFL, when we look at the ACTFL proficiency descriptors, to be an advanced low, and in Illinois, our teacher candidates who are graduating and becoming teachers, they have to score advanced low on the OPI to be able to get their certifications. They tend to not be able to do that unless they've studied abroad because the experiences in the classroom don't get them. Intermediate is such a long, drawn out period of time as a language learner. And so, one of the hallmarks of advanced low is that they can use present, past, and future tenses at the right time. Even if they make some mistakes, they know that they should answer in the present, past, or future. And we've been, you know, in a textbook, a traditional curriculum, level one does present tense, level two does past tense, level three does future and conditional, and subjunctive. And then we turn the fire hose on and there's all these command forms and kids can't absorb all of that. And the main thing that they need to do to be advanced low is know present, past, and perfect. So, or and future. So if we can start them in level one by just showing them this is what past looks like era can just be a vocabulary word. It doesn't have to be a whole grammatical, this is the imperfect versus the preterite. You can just teach them as era means was, and that helps them grow. By the time they've seen that through level one and two and three, and level four, they will be able to produce that more spontaneously. So I think it's a great idea to expose those younger kids to past tense verbs.
Thank you. And
You're
mainly,
welcome.
like I told you, I see so many of these girls with the keychains and the stuffies, and
Yeah,
I just need to take advantage of that because it's relevant,
it
and I
is.
need novelty because between the winter and the spring break coming, and I.
So
So
Audrey, to piggyback off of that, I was just at the
yeah,
mall over the weekend and the Hallmark store has so many different stuffed animal axolotl, like the
I
aloha.
need one for myself.
And so I
So
think I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna buy like our like class
yes.
pet.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I need one for me.
We have the Squishmallow axolotl in the classroom, and her name is Avery, and the kids all fight over Avery axolotl. So they're going to be super excited when Avery has a book. So,
So, Carrie, remember that you were giving away the pins?
yes.
So I gave it to one of those sixth graders because it was her birthday.
Oh,
but I hide from the other ones because you're not supposed to address, just one kid.
yeah.
And she's been wearing the earrings and she has a fascination for it. And
Oh,
she's
fun.
such a good artist that I can't wait for her to start showing on her whiteboard. So I'm more excited.
Yes,
It's like I'm doing this for her, but she almost cried and just put it in her backpack. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
it is.
Thank you for
Yay.
making those pins because you make a kid really happy here.
Oh, thanks. I got the little stickers. I meant to have these at Actful too, but I left them out of my bag. And so I didn't have them, but they're packed now. But you guys get them for being in book club. So any other questions or comments or concerns? Any worries? Or you're just set? I hope that we've given you something that's really easy to follow. I hope that the instructions are really clear. This is like the debut of everything. So if you come across a file that seems to be, not clicking after you download it, it's still, please email and I'll get that taken care of right away and we can get things swapped out online. I did go through to make the videos and I tried clicking all the links when I did that, but you just never know. Sometimes GimKit will change their settings. And when they change their settings, it makes all the GimKits reset. So I have to go back through and add new links to all my GimKits. So just keep an eye out and we'd be happy to get everything changed and fixed up for you as needed. I just ordered 3,000 copies of this book. So I'm hoping we don't find any typos after I just ordered 3,000 of them. So we'll see. Hopefully, I've read through it. I bet your eyes get used to something. After you've read it a few times, I feel like you stop being able to see things, and it takes somebody who's looking at it with fresh eyes to be able to see what you missed. So, a cookie for you if you find it. Tell us.
So, Carrie, when you do the introductory slide on day one, like, do you tell students this is an introductory to a book that we're going to be reading? Or when do you make it like officially known that, like, hey, we're going to be reading a book? Because when I did the Puedo Ir al Baño plans, I
Yeah.
did like the quite the character and all this stuff. I never told them that, like, this is from a video. It wasn't until like day, 4 when I'm like, here's the video. And they're like, what? These are real people?
Yeah,
So how do
I
you
think that's
handle
a great
that?
idea. That's how I tend to handle it. I'm kind of excited about book club and I'm going to be doing some social media posting, so I may actually reveal to mine the reason. But actually I take pictures of them doing stuff all the time, so I don't necessarily have to. So I probably will we'll see. I'm not great at keeping secrets. So my I'm going to say my plan is to not tell them. But they've seen this book because it's in my classroom already, and they've been asking about it. So when they see the axolotl on the slides, they probably are going to suspect that it's something. Um, but yeah, I think it's fun to string them along and have them not really know what it's all leading up to. And then it builds their interest. They really get invested in these characters that they've met through the Quite the Character activity and through, doing the slides and the What's an Axolotl before. We did a little follow up on the day that they learn about axolotls. They have an axolotl and me, and they have to tell, the axolotl has a tail and then they have to put in something there like I don't have a tail or I have two eyes or whatever so they're going to be like trying to draw some comparisons to themselves with their little axolotl buddies, and they have gills and I have lungs or whatever. Well, as soon as you think you've had all of your questions answered, I'm happy to let you go back about your evening. I don't want to keep you tied up for too long, but I definitely wanted to just pep talk. This is going to be really fun. I'm so excited because February is a hard month for me. I need sunshine and I need warm temps, and February never gives me that. And so I find that I drag through the month, and this has me really, really excited about February. So I feel like it has been a good mood booster for me this year to have book club to look forward to. So thank you for being part of it with me.
Do you have anything in the plans about, right, the author?
I don't, but I would welcome that. I love when the kids write notes. I've had, if they want to add one of the things that we did with the Bianca Nieves book before the first edition kind of ended with a cliffhanger about what happened to the stepmom. So kids wrote, a last chapter of the book, and the teacher would look through them and send me two or three of the favorites. I love getting stuff like that. So if you get to the end and you're like, let's write a chapter about what Shirley does now that he has discovered that he's really strong and he's meant to help people, pick out a couple and send them my way. I would love it. I'll send a video back to your kids. It's super fun for me to be able to connect with them.
That's funny that you mentioned that book because a student of mine just finished that one today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, I liked how it wasn't really childish and none of the characters have plot armor, humor. I don't know what she wants to do there. She doesn't like how the dad dies.
No, I didn't. Nobody likes Salome. Everybody always calls her Salami and they hate her. So my kids said, are we going to have a death in this book? Because apparently I kill somebody in all my books. And I said, no, this is the first book that I've written that I didn't off somebody in it. So I've turned a corner.
Well, I bought your 48 hours during COVID and without having read it, I just bought a class set and got it set up. And then I read it. I was like reading a chapter a day before we read it in class. And so I was like just as shocked as they were. I was like during COVID, I don't know, but it worked out.
Yeah. Dang it, Carrie, why are you always killing people? Bananas, they always get, if we read bananas in class, they get super mad at me about that one. They don't like that choice of deaths. Well, thank you so much for being here and have a really great evening. And if you think of something or you just didn't think it applied to the whole group and you just would like to ask me, send me an email, carrie@somewhere2share.com, and I'm happy to answer. And I hope you have a great night, and I'll be seeing you in February. Bye bye. Bye, Maddie. Good to see you. Adios. How's your school year? Oh, she's gone.